guys, what's up? It's me, Priscilla. So for today, I was going to go outside and film a Wreck This Journal Part 4 and started to thunderstorm and lightning, and I thought, I don't do storms. No. Anyway, so I thought I would do a little bit of story time because it seems to be a theme. Like a theme that's going on in my life at the moment, just because I have so many friends that are in high school and stuff like that. The story of 3 proms. Proms! Prom is the theme! I think mostly all of my viewers, most of all of you, are probably in middle school or early high school years, or maybe you're senior this year and you already went to prom. So I thought it would be fun to talk about the 3 proms I attended. I have all 3 prom dresses that I wore to each of my proms. I was not a Whovian back in the 11th grade. My junior year of high school, this was my dress. It is like the night sky. Is it not gorgeous? Look at that, look at that. And I'll make sure I'll post like pictures right over here. My first prom that I ever went to was when I was a junior in high school. Now, keep in mind I went to a really small Christian school and the girls outnumbered the boys, so trust me. But very luckily enough, most of my friends, the group I hung out with, there was an equal amount of boys to girls in the group I hung out with. So there was, for each of us girls, there was a guy, so that was very comforting. And then most of my other friends that were girls had boyfriends outside of school because they were smart. Luckily, all the proms I've went to, I have went with all of my crushes I had crushes on all the guys I went with to prom. He was the first person I ever went to a dance with, a winter formal dance. His name was Chris, and I had the hugest crush on him. The way I asked him, yes, it wasn't even me asking him, he asked me, but it was a huge hint. Like, hey, aren't you gonna ask me? My huge hint was we were talking and texting and everything, and like I said, we went to a winter formal together, and that was back in the 9th grade, so here we are junior year and we're still best friends, and I had the hugest crush on him, and so we were just like texting back and forth, and this was when texting was a new thing. So we're just texting back and forth, and I remember just sitting there and I kind of joked around it like, oh, well, you better get us a limo to go and prom in. And he kind of went, okay, I'll get us a limo to go to prom in. And I just kind of went, wait, so are you asking me? And he's like, yes, I'm asking you. So that was the first time I got asked to prom, and it was awesome. The prom was on a boat. I would not suggest ever having a prom on a boat. Kind of stuck out in the middle of a lake, and if you go down, everyone goes down. I don't want to jump in a lake. Ew, gross. No. My hair's all did up too. The most embarrassing thing that happened to me at that prom was I made the mistake because I dyed my own hair at the time. So I made the hugest mistake of grabbing a box that was a dark brown. No, it wasn't dark brown. It was black. I had a meltdown. I tried to reason with myself and I went and bought another box of dye that was a maroon red, and luckily it just kind of blended in and turned to a dark red. So it is raining so hard outside right now. Pre-Hunger Games, my next prom was my senior prom. It literally is the girl on fire. So this is actually a really, really, really awesome dress. The girl on fire! And this would be the perfect dress to dress up in. I had the hugest crush on my date. It was 3 weeks before prom, and we just got done being in a musical together, and we played the opposites in Thoroughly Modern Millie. I was just kind of waiting throughout the whole musical for him to ask me because we were getting along so great. We were doing rehearsals and dancing and stuff like that, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and the musical was over and he hadn't asked me to prom yet, and I was like, okay. So then we went out, and my friend group, once again, equal amount of boys to girls, until a couple of the boys started to go into the other group of girls and start asking them to prom, and then the rest of us girls It was uneven. It was an uneven number. And it was just like, oh no, the girls are outnumbering the guys in the group. Oh no, Ben has to ask me before he asks another girl in our friend group, because all the girls in our friend group knew I liked Ben a ton. Finally, I really got impatient. So I feel like I'm gonna be the woman who goes up to my my boyfriend after we've been dating for a while, and I'm gonna tell him, so when are you gonna propose to me? Ben was in his AP math class, and I remember walking into the math class and pulling him out of his math class. They never really stuck to a schedule. They didn't have a teacher to monitor them anyway. Small school, once again, we get away with everything. I pulled him out of class and we went out in the hallway, and so I was like, I have a question. And he's like, yeah? And I was like, so, about prom. And right before I could even keep going, he just goes, yeah, you wanna go with me? So once again, it was me doing the little hint. And then right before I could even like say the rest of prom, getting the guts to actually ask him to prom, he just goes, yeah, you wanna go with me? So that was great, that was great. So I went to prom with Ben. It was actually really funny because my friend Allie didn't have a prom date, so she didn't have anyone to go with, so she asked to go with us. And so we kind of, it was really funny, we all kind of matched. Like, we all had a red color scheme, Allie, Ben, and I. So I said, hey, Ben, you have 2 dates now. And he actually took a picture with us. And he was like, look at me and my 2 prom dates. During that prom was Ben wanted to swing dance. And that's one thing I can't do. I cannot swing dance. I can't dance that well. If I try to dance, you better cover your eyes. So Ben wanted to swing dance. So he runs up to me, grabs me by the hand, drags me out into the dance floor, and tries to start swing dancing with me. Yeah, I fell right on my butt in front of him. As fast as I fell down, I was right back up. Like, he did not see that. And he was trying so hard not to laugh, and I went, I'm gonna go over here, because my muscles in my left leg, started spazzing because of how hard of a hit I took on the floor. I fell on my butt. Oh my goodness, it was the worst thing in the world. So I walked away because the muscle in my left leg was spazzing, and I couldn't walk. And before I walked off the dance floor, I could see Ben going like this. Let us fast forward to 2 years into the future, after graduation, after prom, and let's skip to college. Now, I thought that high school's over, so prom is over. No, it's not. Sophomore year in college, I was involved with a theater at my college, and they had a theater banquet every single year. Now, the only way that you could be or go into the theater banquet is you had to be involved with shows. By the time the theater banquet came around after graduation at college in the spring, I had been involved in 2 shows. When I heard about the theater banquet, I thought it was gonna be a fun time, you know, get some nice cute little cocktail dresses and just go to this fun dinner that had awards and stuff. No, I was so wrong. Oh my goodness, it was prom all over again. So I actually looked at my friends that had been going to the theater banquets for their whole lifetime in college, and I asked them, is it like prom? And they're like, oh my gosh, it's exactly like prom. I didn't have anyone to go to the theater banquet with. But all the guys I was interested in my theater, like my theater bank, like in the theater program, all the guys I was interested in were already going with other girls. But there was one guy I was really interested in, and I kept I was wondering if he had a date or not, and then I just kind of went, oh, he probably had a date. Here's the dress. Isn't it pretty? It's like a mermaid dress! Light as a mermaid dress. Here I go, high school never ends and prom never ends. I'm going to an awards dinner and it's basically prom. So I had to get this dress, the mermaid dress. So I bought the mermaid dress, and the worst thing, girls, The biggest piece of advice I can give you is don't go find shops of prom dresses that are not Kohl's and Belk and stuff like that. There are even resale shops that sell prom dresses and everything for really, really cheap. I can advise, please go to those stores and find your prom dress. Don't go to the like chain stores like Kohl's and Belk and stuff, because that's what I did with this dress. And the worst thing happened when I went to that theater banquet. Somebody else was wearing my dress, and we were there at the same time. We were wearing the same dress. It's horrible. Anyways, the best way that I ever got asked out was by my friend Jacob. Now, Jacob, I admired him so much, and of course I had the hugest crush on him. Now, the thing about me with crushes is, like, the guys can never tell that I really have a huge crush on them. Some of them can, and the boyfriends that I've had in the past, they definitely figured it out, so that's great. What happened was the college was lending the theater to the high school, so the high school was coming in to do Chronicles of Narnia. So what I did was I volunteered to run the soundboard for the Chronicles of Narnia show for the high school. So I also volunteered my time to help out the seniors in their senior project, which was basically a little spin-off of a Shakespeare show. So one day after I was cleaning and prepping like the stage for the seniors in their showcase and before the Chronicles of Narnia, I was up in the light booth and I was getting stuff ready and everything. Jacob just kind of showed up. And I was like, oh, hey, Jacob, how are you? And my best friend at the time, Catherine, she was up in the light booth too. So she was just kind of standing up there, and so was Jacob. And then the head of the theater department walked out on stage, and I was like, oh gosh, I gotta go. And Jacob just went, no, you could stay up here a little longer, can't you? And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. I can wait a little while. And then the person who was in charge of the senior class, like one of the seniors, walked out on stage kind of going like this, and I'm sure he was looking for me, and I was just like, I really gotta go. And he's like, no, you just stay a couple more minutes, it's okay. And so I just went, okay. So Catherine kind of caught on. So she left the light booth, and I just kind of stood there, and I was just like, with just me and Jacob in the light booth. And he just finally went, are you going to the theater banquet? And I was like, yeah, I think so. And he's like, do you want to go with me? It was so cute! Oh! I really hope he doesn't watch these videos. I hope none of the guys I just mentioned watch these videos, because they're all gonna figure out I had crushes on every single one of them, even though they probably already knew. But what happened with Jacob was the night of the banquet, this other girl started flirting with him. Back then, I wasn't one to fight for my men, but after I left that school and watched a little bit of Jersey Shore, oh, you best believe if that girl was flirting with my man, I'd be like, what are you doing? I'm sorry. Take off my earrings. We're going outside. Yeah, that's right. I'm trying not to say bad words right now, but you're ugly. I hate your dress. You want to take my man? Outside right now. Go on. Let's go. That would be me now. But when I saw her flirting with Jacob that night at the theater banquet, I just kind of went, it's over. I don't stand a chance. So that's, I hate that I had that attitude. Now I'm kind of like, now if it were me now, it would have been Snooki, you know. I would have been nuts. I would have went Jersey Shore all over her. And it was funny because I wasn't the only one who noticed. At the time, my friend Jeremy was like, girl, go get your man. What are you doing? And I was like, it's not even worth it, Jeremy. There was a really sweet moment. I did win an award that night at the theater banquet, and when I was getting my award, I went and got it from the head of the department, and then as I was walking back to my table, I saw that Jacob gave me a standing ovation by himself, and it was just that moment. I was like, I will marry you right now. So that is the story of me and my 3 proms. If you're thinking, I don't want to go to prom, it's stupid, it's what's with all the hype, if you don't go, you'll regret it. Even if you don't go with the crush that you have in high school, go with your friends. It's a lot of fun when it's just you and your friends, and then maybe something magical happens that night at Prom. It's kind of like 16 Candles, you know, the 80s movie. You never know if your crush might just like you back and maybe you might get that dance. You just never know. I've had several stories of girls going to dances that they go alone with their friends and the guy that they absolutely love asks them to dance. I mean, there's always a moment. If you don't go, you'll regret it. If you go, enjoy yourself and just have fun, alright? I know it's a big hype and everything, but looking back on it, I'm happy I went. I'm happy I went out of my comfort zone to almost ask Ben, to hinting to Chris, and to not going down on the stage when I was needed by my superiors. Yeah, that's a little inspirational. Good story time. So I think I'm gonna donate these two because I wore the same dress as someone else, so bad memories. But I think I'm definitely gonna keep this for future award ceremonies and stuff like that. Plus, I just think the doctor would like me in it.